the two highs! Today we're making Rahmgeschnetzeltes, which is a German dish. And you should instant rewind me saying that name so people can hear it again. It's pork in a cream and white wine sauce with mushrooms. Usually you eat it with Spätzle, which is like a German egg noodle. You can also eat it with rice or just regular noodles, but we don't really eat Spätzle a lot, so why not? I like them. Aaron likes them. Spätzle! Okay, let's get started. So we have 250 grams of all-purpose flour. Boop, boop, boop. We have 5 grams of salt. I would recommend sea salt. 3 eggs. And 50 milliliters of water. Now just mix. So it turns out that wasn't enough water, so we'll add another 50 milliliters. Just a triceps today. Wait. Okay, so we're done mixing the dough. You want a thick but like still can flow off your spoon kind of consistency, because you're gonna pour it in boiling water, and now we're just gonna let this sit for 10 to 15 minutes and bring a pot of salted water to a boil. Thick. So now we have the ingredient for the Rahmgeschnetzeltes itself. So we have 1 big ol' onion. We got a little more than 200 milliliters of cream, whipping cream. We got some white wine. I usually taste the sauce, but right now we have 50 milliliters. This is white wine from my hometown in Germany, that's book. And yeah, it's a little dark in color because it's also a little old, but since we're using it for cooking, it doesn't matter. We have pork chops, then we have 1 teaspoon oregano and 1 teaspoon black pepper, and 150 grams of mushrooms. You can use more if you want to. Here mushrooms are really expensive, so we only bought 2 packs, so use more if you want to, up to like 250 grams. And now we'll cut the mushrooms. I'll cut them into slices. You can quarter them if you prefer. I prefer slices. Then I'll cut the onion and I'll cut the meat into strips. So let's get started. And I'll start with slicing the mushrooms. Use a paper towel to clean them off a little if they're very dirty, but usually they're fine, at least the ones we buy. So nothing special to it. I'll probably get a lot of shit about how I'm cutting them right now. Almost done cutting our mushroomies. make some space on the cutting board onto the onion. So I'll start by cutting down 1/2 inch root. Then I'll cut off the top. This is trash can. Then I cut down some of the root and remove this layer because it has this skinny thing. Peel off that onion skin. Now we're gonna cut. And then cut this way. When you get further down, you can tilt the onion like this, and then cut here. So you don't waste any onion. Then make some more space onto the second half. Now we've chopped some onion, and now we're gonna cut the meat. Cut it into strips like so. So now we've chopped all of the necessary ingredients. So now we're gonna start with the mushrooms and fry them up. Then gonna take the mushrooms out, add the meat and cook it, and then add the onions and the mushrooms back in with all the other stuff. Okay, so because this is a cast iron skillet, I'll add a little oil first. Oh, oil is out. And then I'll add a bit of butter. And our mushrooms. And they immediately soaked up all the oil and butter as always. Turning down the stove a little. Now they've crumpled up a bit, and I'm gonna take them out. Just scoop them back into the bowl they were in before. I'm gonna add the meat. Add some oil first. A little more oil. And some salt. And a little bit of pepper. Okay, now the meat is fully cooked. You don't really need this to brown, just cook through essentially. So we're gonna add the onions. You can add less onion if you want. We like onions. I'm just looking for the onion to become slightly transparent, kind of. Okay, now that the onions are transparent and picked some of the color up, I'm gonna dust them with a little bit of all-purpose flour. This will help the sauce thicken. Gonna add the mushrooms back in. Just dump them in like a dump truck. And I'm gonna give it a good stir so they're all like reincorporated. Now it's time to add the cream. And the white wine. Then our oregano and pepper. And then it's gotta boil real quick. While we're waiting for this to boil, I'm gonna get the pot for the Spätzle and bring the water to a boil. Okay, now that our Spätzle dough has rested for like, I don't know, 20 minutes, maybe longer. It's not a big deal. It needs at least 10 minutes. Don't let it rest too long or it'll dry out, but it's no big deal if it's longer. We're gonna talk about how to make Spätzle, because you're not just gonna dump this dough into boiling water. So we have this thingy. This goes on top of the pot and you put the dough on top and then scrape it through. Just drip into the water. Then we have this thingy which my mom sent me, which you might know is a potato press, but we also use it to make Spätzle. So you just put the dough in there, press it, and then it'll bring down. This will make more like spaghetti Spätzle, like longer ones. The ones you buy in the store are typically long ones. These will make like droplets, like short stubby ones. And if you don't have any of these or anything you can use instead of these, you can always use a wooden cutting board. So you just put the dough on top and then scrape. You can use a knife. A lot of knife people's heart will bleed now. I guess you could use the back side, but it's easier to use the cutting side. You just scrape it into the water. It's a lot of work though, unless you get really good and do it really fast. So we're gonna use either one of these, maybe both, just to test them. I don't think we've used this one to make Spätzle yet, only for mashed potatoes. So we'll see. We have enough though. Now we're just waiting for the water to boil. I don't think it's quite there yet, but our Rahmgeschnetzeltes is simmering and ready to get in our tummies. Okay, our water is boiling now. So we're setting our Spätzle tool on top of the pot. We have the scraper. Now I'm just gonna scoop some of our dough on top. Come on, dough. Don't scoop all at once because it'll get hot. Should line this up before. So okay. So you can see there's like tiny drippy things on it. I have a tea strainer. And I'm gonna dump them straight into the Rahmgeschnetzeltes because we're gonna eat them together and it's gonna give them more time to soak in the sauce. Looking good. So I added all the Spätzle, but now it's looking a little dry. So I'm just gonna add some more cream. Now that it's all done, I'm gonna plate it up, aka dump all of this into a bowl. Now it's all plated and done and ready to eat, and we'll have Aaron review it.
Okay. This is the first German thing you've ever made for me. I always thought it looked like scrambled eggs. Let's try it.
Good.
But yeah, no, this is really good. Good job.
It's like, I think, has like some salty, rich, creamy flavors with a touch of
White wine.
white wine and roastiness.
Yeah, it's good.
Try it. Let's eat.